Welcome back to the channel. We're back on our Final Fantasy Commander deck profile today with Stiltzkin Moogle Merchant. For 1 mana, you get a 1-2 with lifelink that has the ability for 2 mana, you can tap him to have target opponent gain control of another target permanent you control. So we have some permanents in this deck that our opponent's going to gain control of that they probably don't want control of, along with having ways to make sure we protect ourselves and make sure our opponents can't attack us, even though we're being really friendly and giving them all the stuff that they could have. We're being super helpful, but they're the ones who are just, trying to attack us, and we want to make sure we can prevent that. So, that's the general overview of the deck. Is a bit of a group hug deck, or at least it seems like that at a certain point of the game, until all of a sudden you have a 9 lives and a land tax and a deathly Darksteel mutation on the board, and they can't do anything to you. But let's get into the card by card. Start off, we have Arcane Signet. Even though he is only 1 mana, we want to make sure we have some additional mana to cast our other stuff, as always. Bucknard's Everfull Purse, for 1 mana, you roll a d4, create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result, and pass this to the right. We're going to be giving away our stuff, even if it is stuff that we want to keep around. Because we're just playing group hug. You shouldn't have to attack us, right? Grab the Skull Cap. At the beginning of your draw step, draw a card. At the end of your turn, discard your hand. I mean, we like drawing the extra card. It's the end step part we don't want. So let's get rid of that and give it to our opponent. This way they can have the fun of getting to draw that extra card. Maybe they'll have a way to get rid of it. Who knows? Halo Fountain. Untap target creature you control and get a token, or untap 2 target creatures you control to draw a card. Or for 5 mana, you can untap 15 and you win the game. You're probably not going to get to 15 creatures on this deck. It's mostly just the first ability. So we get more and more stuff that we keep giving to our opponents. Just being Mr. Nice Guy around here. Hitlin Rope. For 1 mana, you could search your library for a basic land, pass it to the right, and then they get to do the same. Everyone's getting their lands. Everyone's getting their land drops. We love to see it. Or for 2 mana, you could draw a card and pass it around. All the stuff that everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to draw cards. Everyone wants to get that mana. Jinx Choker. At the end of your turn, target opponent gains control of Jinx Choker and puts a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, Jinx Choker deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it, and you can pay 3 mana to put a charge counter on it and remove it 1 from it, depending on what you need. If you want to take the damage, or if you want your opponent to gain that additional damage onto them. But let's use Stiltzkin's ability, because we have so many ways to untap them to make sure opponents could have that Jinx Choker rather than us losing that life. I mean, we've been helping them out so much. Let's just get them a little something. Jinx Idol for 2 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, Jinx Idol deals 2 damage to you, and you can sacrifice a creature to have target opponent gain control of this card. I mean, we don't need to sacrifice a creature. Let's just give it to them for 2 mana. They wanted more cards on their battlefield, so let's give them 1. They wanted it. We're just helping them out. Jinx Ring. Whenever any card put into your graveyard from play, Jinx Ring deals 1 damage to you. I mean, a little bit of damage is okay, but we don't want it. Let's give it to someone else. You can sacrifice a creature, target opponent gains control of it, but let's just pay the 2 mana, as Stills can do it, so we can draw a card, so we can draw more gifts to give to our opponents. Lich's Mirror. If you would lose the game, instead shuffle your hand and your graveyard and all permanents you own into the library, then draw 7 cards, and your life total becomes 20. I mean, it's just kind of a fun card. It's a meme deck, so let's do some more meme things. Lich's Tomb. You don't lose the game for having 0 life, and whenever you lose life, sacrifice a permanent for each 1 life you lost. So, I mean, at a certain point, we're going to have to sacrifice this. So let's go ahead and give this to our opponent so that they have to sacrifice it instead once we're at 0 life. Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has haste and shroud, so we can activate Stiltzkin's ability the turn he comes down. I mean, he'll probably come down turn 1. This will come down turn 2, but, if he ever gets removed, we can do it again. Mage Right Stone. Untap target creature for 1 mana that has an activated ability with tap in its cost. I guess tap is a cost, yeah. Norn's Annex. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless they pay either 2 life or a white mana. I mean, We don't want to be attacked. I mean, we gave them all these gifts. We want to make sure we're here to keep giving them those gifts. I mean, maybe we could even like make a deal and give them Norn's Annex. Pearl Medallion for some cost reduction, Soul Ring for some mana, Sting the Glinting Dagger, in order to make sure we can keep untapping Stiltzkin, so we can keep passing those gifts around to our opponents. Temple Bell, tap it, for each player gets a draw card. We are helping people out. We're not just being toxically positive. Dazzling Elixir, you may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures have haste, aka Stiltzkin's ability. We like to see it, and also we have to untap him so we can make sure we get that ability again and again. All the stuff we want to do. And then Wedding Ring. Enters the battlefield. If it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. Whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during your turn, you draw a card. So, I mean, we're going to give them ways to draw cards, but we're also going to get to draw cards. And whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life, you gain that much life too. So let's, like, pair up, let's help them out, maybe we'll give everyone a ring. Crow and Horse, whenever he enters the battlefield, an opponent gains control of it. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent creates a 1/1 soldier token. Let's have a little bit of protection. We're going to need some creatures on the battlefield. But let's be nice and give our opponent, there's a wooden horse. Bronze Bombshell. When a player other than Bronze Bombshell's owner controls it, that player sacrifices it. If the player does, Bronze Bombshell deals 7 damage to him or her. I mean, let's just go ahead and give this to someone so that they could have a creature. At least for a little bit, right? Not for long. Delivery Moogle, I mean, we have Stiltzkin. We're going to have another Moogle in here, at least one more, in order to get our our artifact with mana value 2 or less to our hand. Maybe a Jinxed Ring, Jinxed Idol, a Hythlian Rope, Bucknard's Everfull Purse, I pronounced it correctly that time, hopefully, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, a whole bunch of things we want out of our deck. But I don't run any other Moogles. That one's just, I feel like it's really helpful, especially in Commander with Soul Ring being searchable. Discerning Financier. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a treasure token. We could give our opponent a land and we get a treasure token. What's the harm in that? Choosing another player, that player gains control, target treasure you control, and you get to draw a card. We're just giving out stuff to our opponents once again. Draft Magistrate. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. I mean, we have to slow them down some ways. We don't want them winning the game before we've given them enough gifts. Drum Bellower, flying, untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step, so you keep getting Stiltzkin's ability off there. Flump, Defender, flying, whenever Flump is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. Doesn't need to be the person that attacked you. You could just have Flump block whatever, and you gain that life. Grid Monitor, you can't play creature spells, so a little bit harmful towards you, right? No, it's not. Let's go ahead and let our opponent have a Grid Monitor. That's what they've always wanted. Keeper of the Accord. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, get a soldier token. And if that player has more lands than you, you get a land. Or planes. I mean, it's going to be all planes in a sec anyway. But that's just super helpful. Again, if we're giving stuff to our opponents, we may as well get something off of it too. Sailing with Knight of the White Orchid and Loyal Warhound, getting us some additional lands off of our opponents having more lands than us. That's why it's sometimes not a bad idea to give them a land. We just did that one. Lorn the Desert Path. You could tap it to have you and target opponent each draw a card, and a little bit of removal while we're at it. Mangara, Diplomat. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more are attacking you or planeswalker you control, draw a card. And if a player casts more than one spell, you get to draw a card. We're giving them all this mana, so they should probably have enough to draw 2 cards. To cast 2 spells, so let's draw a card off that. Master Ceremonies. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. Each player who chose money, you and that player each create a treasure token. For each player who chose friends, you and that player each create a token. And for each player who chose secrets, you and that player each draw a card. It means either mana, token, or draw power. All of which are useful towards us, and we're helping them out while we're at it. Mother of Runes, target creature you control gains protection from color of your choice until end of turn. Another thing that we can keep untapping with all of our untap abilities there as well. Rust Elemental, 4 mana for a 4/4 with flying. That's good, right? At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice an artifact other than Rust Elemental. If you can't, tap Rust Elemental and lose 4 life. Ooh, maybe not that good. But don't worry, you're not keeping it around for too long. Silent Arbiter. No more than one creature can attack each combat, and no more than one creature can block each combat. Okay, it's gonna be this one showdown where even though we gave all our opponents all these things, they can't block with them. Sorry, yeah, or they can't attack with them. Steel Golem. You can't play creature spells. Oh man, I feel like we've seen this with Grid Monitor just a second ago. We can't play creature spells? Let's go ahead and get that to our opponent. I'm sure they'd like that. Who wouldn't? Taru enters, you draw a card, and each opponent may draw a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tap treasure token. We let them draw a card, but let's get a little bit something off it. Windborne Muse. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature that player controls that's attacking you. I mean, we don't want to be attacked. Let's make sure we can stick around so that we can keep giving out our gifts to them. Yes Man. Personal Securitron. Tap it, target player gains control of Yes Man. If they do, draw 2 cards and put a quest counter on Yes Man. And when he eventually leaves the battlefield, its owner creates a tapped 1/1 soldier token for each quest counter on it. I mean, you get a quest counter for every time you pass it around. Keep passing around, keep passing around. Hopefully your opponent will also pass it around. They're not required to by any means, but, I mean, don't they want to draw 2 cards? We helped them out. They should help us out. Darksteel Mutation. Enchanted creature is an insect with base power 0/1, indestructible, and loses all of their abilities. I mean, sometimes we gave them something too powerful. Let's go ahead and weaken it a little bit. Ghostly Prison. Can't attack us unless the controller pays 2 for each creature that's trying to attack us. I mean, we don't want to be attacked. We've been over this. We want to make sure we keep giving gifts. Land tax. Let's get some additional lands, as long as our opponents have more lands than us. I mean, we could give them lands in order to get our lands. Monologue tax. Whenever our opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a treasure token. We're not going to have the lands because we could give them to them. And we get the treasure tokens off of them having those enough mana to cast all their spells in your hand. 9 lives, hexproof. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage. And put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When this card leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. I mean, we could wait till we have 8 on it, pass it, deal 1 damage to that person. I mean, we just got rid of the dread on the battlefield to help everyone out here. Transcendence. You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. When you have 20 more life, you lose the game. Oh no. Well, let's let our opponents attack us a whole bunch. Whenever you lose life, you gain 2 life, and for each 1 life you lost. But, I mean, if our opponent thought they got to infinite life with their life gain deck, because they had an infinite combo somewhere in there, let's go ahead and let them enjoy that infinite life, but not for too long. Let's scroll on over to the second half of the deck. Oh, there we go. Angel's Grace for 1 mana. Split second. You can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn. Until end of turn, damage that would reduce your life to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Give us that 1 last turn in order to give our opponents some gifts. Everybody lives. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible end of turn. Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life this turn, and players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. I mean, once again, we want to help out our opponents. They don't want to die. We don't want to die. We want the game to keep on going. And that's about all this deck does. Is it doesn't really have much way to win the game. It just has a way to make sure the game doesn't end. Generous Gift for some removal so that we can get rid of those big threats on the battlefield. Oblation. Target the owner of target non-land permanent shuffles into their library, then draws 2 cards. We're helping them draw 2 cards. They would like that. Pet Exile, Source Pleasure for some removal. Purge Protection. Gift an extra turn, and we can't lose until until our next turn. What's the harm in that? We gave them an extra turn. Of course they'll like that. Especially if they have what's it called? The things that deal damage to them each of their turns. Reprieve, return target spell to its owner's hand. AKA, we gave our opponent something that they shouldn't be using the way that they're using. Let's go ahead and take it back if they're not using it correctly. Silent Chasm, cumulative upkeep, 2 life. Whenever When Glacial Chasm comes into place, sacrifice a land. You can't attack. All damage dealt to you is reduced to 0. We're not trying to attack. We're just trying to make sure the game keeps on going. Homeward Path. Each player gains control of all creatures he or she owns, aka all the stuff that we gave to our opponent. It's ours now. They don't have creatures to block for themselves? No, they don't. Maze of Ith. Way to survive just for another turn. And, prevent one creature from dealing damage to you. They paid all that mana to attack you with it? No, they didn't. War Room, 3 mana, pay life equal to number of colors in your commander's color identity, draw a card. aka pay 3 life and pay 1 life and 3 mana in order to draw a card. And we have Plains, of course. Approach to the Second Sun. If Approach to the Second Sun was cast from your hand, and you've cast another spell named Approach to the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put it 7 from the top and gain 7 life. This is basically the only way you have to win the game. Let's, wait until we can get there. Austere Command for a board wipe. Cut a deal. Each opponent draws a card. Then you draw a card for each opponent drew a card this way. You helped everyone draw a card. I mean, sure you drew 3, but what's the harm in letting them do that? Farewell for another board wipe. Ishgard the Holy Sea to get one of our artifacts back. Maybe a Jinxed Idol, maybe a Jinxed Ring, a Lich's Tomb. Depends what we need at the time. Promise Loyalty, another board wipe where we get rid of everything but Stiltzkin. And, one of our opponents each choose one thing, but they can't attack us. I mean, we probably gave them that card that they're keeping. I mean, of course they want to keep Lorn of the Third Path over their Ur-Dragon. Secret Rendezvous, you and target opponent each draw 3 cards. Helps us get to Approach to the Second Sun a little bit faster. Starfall Invocation, destroy all creatures that give full promise. Return creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. I mean, we got rid of our Yes Man, only to get another Yes Man onto the battlefield. Tempt with Bunnies, draw a card and create a 1/1 rabbit. Then each player may draw a card and create a 1/1 rabbit. And you get to do it for each opponent who decides to do it as well. So that could be a lot more draw power. Like I said, we have ways to eliminate one person. We have one way to win the game. You're not really tending to win with this deck too much, but is it fun? Yes, it is. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll like, comment, subscribe to stay tuned for the next one.